welcome to episode 67, part 3 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the 3 Quarters podcast. As usual, we'd like to remind you to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Jemima Duffield.
And I'm Ngaro Kamuya.
So we start off with the E.P.L wrap-up. Spurs, Man City. 3-1 to Man City.
Man City, yeah.
Yes.
Match day 34, actually, of the season. So as you've said, yeah, Tottenham Hotspurs are losing to Manchester City at home 3-1. Christian Eriksen getting the goal for Tottenham Hotspurs. And Gabriel Jesus, Ilkay Gundogan, and Raheem Sterling scoring for Manchester City, just showing how dominant they've been throughout the season. The other games for the top 6, Liverpool beating Bournemouth 3-0. Southampton, losing to Chelsea 2-3, and United losing to West Brom 1-0. That, in effect, by the way, not that I don't want to say this, but I have to. Newcastle beating Arsenal 2-1. So United's loss to West Brom at home effectively means that the 2017-2018 Premier League champions are Manchester City. I was going to say Manchester United. I think they've led. No, not I think. They have led from the beginning of the season. They've been a class act. They've been miles apart from everyone else. And congratulations to Pep Guardiola getting his first title in England. Of course, England has been competitive, and Pep has had his problem. I think every other league he's gotten into is one in his first year.
Yeah.
The first season he finished 4th. He had to change a few things. Finished first. Unfortunately, not being able to go anywhere in the Champions League, but you cannot take it away from what they've done in the Premier League, and you just have to congratulate them. So congratulations to Manchester City, 2017-2018 Premier League champions.
And their supporters, of course, because,
Let me tell you, anyone who supports Manchester City started watching football like 5 years ago when the money came in. There's no loyal Manchester City supporter you can. And someone who will tell you, you know me in the 90s was following Manchester.
No one.
It's a lie. But anyway, everyone who follows or likes the way Manchester City plays, I guess congratulations to you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals, led 2 of 2. So we had Man City versus Liverpool, 2-1 to Liverpool. Roma versus Barcelona, 3-0 to Roma. Bayern versus Sevilla, 0-0. And Real Madrid versus Juventus, 3-1 to Juventus.
Yeah, so aggregate Manchester City 1, Liverpool 5, Roma 4, Barcelona 4, Bayern 2, Sevilla 1, and Real Madrid 4 and Juventus 3. So that effectively means that the 2 ones I'd like to highlight is Roma versus Barcelona.
They win though because of away goal.
It's called the away goal rule.
Yes.
So Roma scored 1 goal at the Nou Camp. When they went back to the Stadio Olimpico, Roma winning 3-0. Excellent game. I think Daniel De Rossi deserved to be man of the match for that game. Edin Dzeko also had a very good game. So 4-4 they beat Barcelona. Yes, I'm very happy. I'm one of those guys who don't like Barcelona. Real Madrid losing 3-1 to Juventus. Questions about the penalty, the last minute penalty that effectively meant that Real Madrid went through, Cristiano Ronaldo converting it. But Madrid going through 4-3. Apologies to Gianluigi Buffon, who's been in the Champions League for very long. I think it's like 40 years.
Wow.
Never won the Champions League. But yeah, so effectively that means starting on the 24th of April 2018, we have the semi-finals. We have Liverpool hosting Roma first. And then we have what's going to be the tie, I think, of the leg. We have Bayern Munich hosting Real Madrid at the Allianz Arena.
All right. Yeah. So we move on to the Commonwealth Games and Kenya's performance, basically. And yes, we did get a few medals, bag a few here and there. But a lot of people are saying that the performance was below par.
Yeah, look, fine. The only gold medals we have Conseslus Kipruto in the steeplechase. Again, Kenya showing their dominance in the steeplechase. Conseslus Kipruto, Abraham Kibiwott, and Amos Kirui. 1, 2, 3, reminiscent of the 2004 Olympics. What are the guys there? Ezekiel Kimboi, number 1, Bremen Kipruto, and Paul Kipselekoech. Kipruto urging the guys to finish clean sweep 1, 2, 3. Then we had Wycliffe Kinyamal, who won our first gold medal in the 800 meters. Not a decent performance by our standards. Athletics is our field, and that's when we always back the medals. Yeah. But it's mainly because our star athletes did not go. Athletics Kenya decided to use this as a testing ground
Yeah.
for the young guys to come into the fold. Commonwealth is not really revered as the big time one.
Yeah.
You think about the World Championships and the Olympics as the stellar, competitions. I know, like, for example, in the marathon, Eliud Kipchoge did not take part because he's taking part in one of them. I think the London Marathon in a week or two. So many of our stars did not go. It's not a decent performance by Kenyan standards, but look, guys, this is always a breeding ground.
Yeah.
Now our guys get exposed to high pressure situations. Come the World Championship, come the big marathons, come the meets that happen in Europe, then you build stars pole pole. So congratulations to Conseslus Kipruto, who, by the way, was the Sawyer Men's Personality of the Year for 2017, and Wycliffe Kinyamal for winning the 800 meters.
Yep. But I also think one thing that we should get into doing, or into the habit of doing, is even when our countrymen don't perform as well, we still need to be behind them.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of just
talking trash.
Yeah, talking trash, basically. Yeah.
It's not easy. I know. Okay. I understand both sides, because you want to criticize bad performances. But in my opinion, it's not really a bad performance. Look, if it was the Eliud Kipchoge's, the Vivian Cheruiyot's performing this way, then you could say, okay, guys, we didn't perform well. But look, these are new guys coming into the fold. You have to give them time for them to adapt to the pressure situations and build, So on this particular one, I think we should be applauding the guys. It's not what we would have expected, but look, let's take into account the fact that our star athletes were not there. And it's the new crop of guys coming.
Basically, let's do our research before all this verbal diarrhea. But anyway, So we move on to basketball, and we had the NBA playoffs. Any shockers for you?
Just before I get into shockers or whatever I'm thinking about, so we have the playoffs. It's now post-season. This is the business end of the NBA. We have the Western Conference pairings. We have the Golden State Warriors taking on the San Antonio Spurs, Portland Trail Blazers, taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Utah Jazz, and we have the Houston Rockets taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Eastern Conference. We have the Toronto Raptors paired with the Washington Wizards. We have the Philadelphia 76ers coming up against the Miami Heat, with the Boston Celtics coming up against the Milwaukee Bucks, and we have the Cleveland Cavaliers playing Indiana Pacers. So shockers so far, as we are shooting episode 67, for me has to be Pelicans beating Portland in Portland. No one really expected that. I mean, Portland are playing at home. You'd expect that they would be able to defend their home court, but Pelicans stealing that one, and they'll be very confident going into game 2. So for the NBA lovers, playoffs is on. I know it's weird timings, but games are at 10 p.m. You can be able to catch a game, but it's definitely the postseason, and this is when things get interesting in the NBA.
So after that, we move on to our bonus segment where we are talking about TV rights and sports. So, we've overheard discussions here and there that Citizen and Bamba Sports are acquiring rights to televise Kenya Cup and the international home games. Now, how are these rights distributed, and how should such ideas sort of be structured?
Okay. So,
or deals rather.
I'll use the examples of what happens in the West and what I think should be happening here. So the obvious example for Kenyans is the Premier League, is the English Premier League, and as we speak right now, there's a deal that was signed in 2016 right into 2019 by a couple of the guys who bought the rights, which is about 5.13 billion pounds for the TV rights. So how this is divided is that 50% is divided equally amongst the 20 teams, right? That's the first 50%. And the 25% is merit-based. By that we mean depending on how
where you fall
on the table at the end of the season. So I think the last team gets about 1.9 million pounds or thereabout, and the highest team gets about 38 million pounds. So that's merit-based. And then the last 25% is divided amongst the clubs depending on your ratings or how many people watch your games. So for example, this for the 25%, Manchester City will get more than Bournemouth because more guys would be watching Manchester City's games. You get also depending on 1 million pounds per TV appearance if your game is shown. So that's now divided from this further 25% at the end. You have something called overseas TV rights. So this is just for domestic. That's for the domestic in England. Then you have overseas TV rights, which is again spread equally, and you can have even teams that were relegated getting about 93.4 million pounds, which is not pocket change.
Yeah.
In Spain, of course, Barcelona and Real Madrid are the ones who dominate for a very long time, but La Liga have restructured it. So the first 50 and the 25% is just as a Premier League. Then the last 25% is based on the resource generation of the club. The NBA is another world altogether because theirs, I think it's a $24 billion deal for 9 years between NBA, between ABC, ESPN, and Turner Sports. So that's a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
It comes to about $2.7 billion dollars a year. So how do I think this should be done? Bamba Sports deal, from what I'm hearing, is coming to about 360 million shillings for 6 years.
Yeah.
So the problem here, the contentious issue, is how do you split it? Unfortunately, we don't have people in the union or people who understand how this TV rights thing work.
Yeah.
The way I think it should
or
be
if
done.
they do, they're keeping mum.
They're keeping mum, exactly.
Yeah.
So the way I think it should be done is that the first 50% should be split, that's 30 million, should be split equally amongst all the 12 Kenya Cup teams. Then the further 25%, just the same way they do it in other countries, the further 25% is split merit-based. So KCP end up getting more than Mombasa, for example.
Yeah.
And then the last 25%, taking into account the fact that our union really does not run like a business, then I'll leave the 25% with the union.
Yeah.
But the
so they don't get too greedy.
Exactly. But the problem is that I hear some of the directors in the union are insisting that the deal should be split 70-30. Come on, guys. Shame on you. Let's start here fast. Shame on you. You cannot do that. The Bamba Sports are not buying rights to Kenya Rugby so that they can watch directors playing or directors doing whatever they're doing. Yeah. They're buying rights because of the clubs. Yeah. And majority of the money should go to the clubs, right? So, what I think the union should be doing is that the union should start entertaining other guys. Bring in Citizen. If Citizen, what I'd had was going to be 300 million shillings for a year. Entertain Citizen, entertain NTV, bring in all these guys. Quest Sports.
Yeah.
Or do something like form the Kenya Rugby Union Networks Limited that televises or invest in that and then sell the rights to all these guys. It's a way to make money. Yeah. So the most unfortunate thing is just that we don't have guys who are pretty focused, unfortunately. So that's how I think the deal should be structured. That's how it's done in other countries. And that's my 2 cents. Yeah.
So guys, what I'd like to know is what guys think about TV rights and sports and what they think should be done. Do you agree with us or do you have a different point of view? Remember, you can tell us this by liking our page on Facebook, following us on Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Denise Duffield.
And I'm Mero Kamuya.
And that's it for episode 67.
See you in 68.
Yeah.